So we've loads to talk about. I want to start with the news that's breaking this afternoon. The FA, pardon me, are going to introduce retrospective bans for diving from next season. It'll be 2-match bans for players found guilty of diving or faking injury, and the incidents are going to be reviewed by a panel of a former manager, a former player and a former referee.
Yeah, great. That's really good news, I think, Ger. I often wonder how long it takes to get round to it. I think once we start on technology, it'll become more and more popular, I think, and it'll be used a lot more. I mean, the things that they brought in, a few things, the over-the-line situation, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, the referee knows straight away, it's over-the-line. There's no players running, there's no arguments, there's no disputes about it. It's absolutely great. And the other thing they brought in, which is not the technical thing, is the marking, for the free kicks, 10 yards. That was another showstopper, because the players would be moving forward, they'd be having to be pushed back. And I think that's a simple thing. And most of them can be simple. People talk about, it's going to be complicated. I don't think so. I mean, first of all, the managers have taken no role in this, in stopping the diving.
Yeah.
It was Wenger over the years, or Ferguson over the years. Well, that happened to us last week, and I didn't notice that, or I didn't see it, and all that rubbish that was going on. So I think that's a really positive move.
Sky helpfully have interviewed loads of the managers today. Do you think they're in favour of it? Not really. A lot of the managers are like, I don't really think this is a good idea.
I'm surprised they didn't say yes. I'm definitely in favour of that, because our players don't dive.
Yeah.
Because none of them ever admitted over the years that they did dive. Like actually I saw a thing with Mourinho there a while ago where he said, I love the English game and I hate this diving. This fella had Drogba in his team and various other players.
Yeah.
But I've never heard any of the managers after a match say, well, I think my player dived there. We had Wenger years ago. I think Pires played in a match never against Portsmouth years ago. Most outrageous dive. There was proven there was no contact whatsoever. And of course he didn't see it. It was at the other end. They could see everything.
Yeah.
Wenger particularly at that particular stage. So it's about time. I think technology has to come into the game, because what's happened, in my opinion, Jared, like years and years ago, a good few years ago, the only football that was on the telly was BBC Match of the Day. So there were there would not be 2 matches probably, right? So there were loads and loads of matches going on there where we didn't see the referees make mistakes if they made mistakes, right? Now technology has come into the game, and we can see loads and loads of matches now, nearly every match we can see, and we can see where the referees made mistakes. So that's technology. But the referees themselves haven't embraced the technology to help them.
Yeah.
They've gone against it. So it's a double whammy for them. We're seeing things now we never saw before on the television, and they're not. They're in a world of their own.
Yeah.
See, I think they're like the sacred cows situation. Referee can't be wrong, this is what they have to change. Because now, if you see a tackle, and a bad tackle breaks somebody's leg, when they look at it on the Monday, they say to the referee, "Did you see that incident?" He said, "Yeah," and you go, "Oh, that's okay." As long as if the referee said, "Well, I didn't see it," then they can take action. But if he said, "I saw it," instead of saying to the referee, "Well, I'm sorry,
you made a mistake,"
you made a mistake there,
and that's fine, because it's a lot of pressure and there's only one person.
Exactly.
They'd actually become better referees
anyway
as well.
Now, Judge. You know what I mean? Everybody can see what's going on now, because you have replays and we have technology and we've all sorts of, or can have technology. The referees are the only one, in my opinion, that haven't embraced it to help them.
Big Sam was saying that actually better than a retrospective ban would be live technology from a fourth official saying, look, that was a dive, and stick him in the sin bin, off for 10 minutes and away you go.
I'd agree with that. I think anything that works in that way, because sometimes to suspend a player for 3 matches could be too severe on the circumstances of the game. But if you say, right, that's a definite, right, again, see the other thing they did this year, Jared, the referees got on 10, you have to stop this grabbing from corner kicks and free kicks. And I think referee Dean early on gave a couple of penalties. It's gone again now.
Yeah.
It's as bad as ever, because they haven't stuck to the rules on it. Now, if they had retrospective stuff on that, even, to say, I'm sorry, but you didn't see that on Saturday, but this is what happened.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like even on the rather than say give a penalty or other severe situations, send them off for 10 minutes, send them off for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it would soon stop. See, what would happen is the referees then, the managers would be saying to the players, whatever you do, don't get involved in pushing and pulling. they would stop it themselves.
Yeah, it changes behaviour. It's like when they introduce a straight red for the tackle from behind.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, you can't implement this. But then you almost never see those leg break or those ankle breaking tackles anymore.
Because the players know that if they do that, they're going to be sent off. And it's like the thing at the start of the season, if you're pushing and pulling, which a couple of the referees did it early on, then they stopped again.
Yeah.
And it's gone back to nearly as bad as it was, the pulling and pushing.
Yeah, so hopefully this will stamp out diving, or at least go some way to stamping out diving in the early part of next season.
It will, because what the situation you've got to get into, Ger, is that the managers are actually saying to the players, be careful and don't do that, because you're going to be sent off the sin bin. That's what you want. Instead of the managers now, as long as they can get away with it, they say, well, they were doing it last week and we were doing it, we weren't, all that carry on that we've seen over the years, and they've let it happen. So I think it's about time. I think they should have embraced technology years ago.
They've been very
It's
slow.
never too late. They're very slow to do it.
The Premier League want everybody else to do the video assisted referee, VAR, whatever it's called, before them, so that they can be, it'll be perfect for them by the time that it happens. But maybe they should actually be the ones leading that charge and saying, okay, there'll be some mistakes early on, but it'll get perfected quickly. Yeah,
exactly. But there's a lot of nonsense in it, because a lot of times when it's UEFA or FIFA say, well, we can't introduce it because the lower clubs can't afford it. This is nonsense.
Yeah.
You have to do it where the clubs. The Premiership can certainly afford it. So let's start somewhere. Not because the fourth division or whatever can't do it. That's total nonsense,
Also, the technology will become much cheaper in the coming years. We're to a point where you'll be able to get it very quickly.
You get it anyway. But even the Premiership, if you let the Premiership, all those clubs can afford the technology.
Yes, they can.
At least start somewhere.
And the TV companies especially.
Yeah.